I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up, matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up.
Well, we're live. All right, here we go. No, it's like, hold the applause. Welcome to SharkLife Podcast. My name is Ryan Walton, and we are here to bring you behind the scenes of, well, our Shark Life.
And I'm Josh Raia, the co-host here, and let's go for a dive.
All right. I am so excited. This is kind of overdue. There. You missed your cue there. You missed you missed the cue.
Sorry, what was I supposed to be doing?
That's twice. Zing! So we're going to have the word of the night. I think it's 2 words. It's going to have to be hang dang.
Hang some serious dang, and that's absolutely what we did in Cabo last week.
Less than 72 hours removed from an absolutely insane trip. What was your moment? What was your highlight that's still sticking out right now?
Man, that's tough. Cabo is such a special place for me, and I know it absolutely is for you. You know, you call it your second home for a reason, but I think it's funny for me, right? So all the trips that we've done, I've been to Cabo 4 times now. We've done a lot of shark diving, and it's really just hit home for me how difficult it is to get pelagic sharks to play. Because nothing against the dive operation, they're wild animals, you can't control that at all. But I've only gotten sharks on, I'll say, 2.25 of 10 dives that I've done out there. So this time, getting 4 blue sharks, multiple up in my face at the same time, absolutely my favorite shark in the world, just because of that cobalt blue. As soon as I got in, and one showed up, and then another showed up, and then we had 3. I think the moment there was when we did our little bro hug in the water, because we had all the sharks, they were all playing, and everybody was absolutely over the moon. That made my whole trip. I think when we got out, I said, hey man, if nothing else happens the entire time, I'm set. I'm good to go.
I remember in that moment, the little one showed up, and it had already been 3 hours. And I've got the responsibility of being the trip leader too. So I'm sitting there thinking about oh shit, we need to get back. But oh shit, we haven't seen sharks. So we're getting in the water. And then I get in, and little small blue shark, I scared it away. I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't just because it was me. The first person it was going to see, I said it before we got in the water, don't get your hopes up. It could be out of here. So I remember getting out of the water oh, shit, nobody's going to see it now. And then Jacob said, don't take your top off. There's a bigger one behind it. And he hadn't seen it. He was just saying it because that's how things go. And there they came. And I was time to get back in the water. And we were definitely late for that afternoon trip.
Yeah, well worth it. I think the excitement of that absolutely made my trip. I'm thrilled with the photos that I got. I have 3 edited so far. I usually edit, give it a day or 2, kind of sit on it, and then go back and look at it if there's any other changes. So I should have those posted by the end of the week here. But I think for me as a new photographer, those were some of the best photos that I had, because I finally felt like on this trip, I'd been taking photos for 8 months. I feel like I kind of had my my camera settings dialed in. I really felt comfortable jumping in and being able to adjust. And I was able to pull that off this trip. So my favorite photos of my favorite shark. What else do I need, right? That's fantastic.
Heck yeah. And by the way, Canon, we both shoot the R5. So any accessories you want to throw our way, any new stuff, we're happy to take it. So our shameless plug goes right here. We were happy to take whatever you can throw our way. So thank you in advance, Canon, for that one. But I'm loving the R5. I know you've got a lot longer to master it. Just seeing the data, as you say it, the data that these cameras provide, 45 megapixels, 8K, 4K 120, like, we'll get into the nerd stuff later. We'll keep this one kind of basic, but it's insane. It's absolutely insane what these cameras do. And it's cool that we'll be able to kind of piggyback off each other. I'm going to pick your brain until I can catch up. And then hopefully we can keep pushing the creative ideas in the future, both using that same rig. And obviously just have our own creative flow along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cameras, it absolutely blown me away so far. Just with the resolution, the detail, both on the photo and the video side. I was strictly a video guy when I started using it, and then I just woke up one day and I said, hey, why don't I give the photos a shot? And I ended up falling in love with that as well, because it's kind of instant gratification. You take a photo, you're stoked on it, you can print it, give it to my dad for Christmas. So that's that makes a big difference for me.
I remember it was Isla. You started coming out shooting like nonstop in Isla. You weren't really doing video as much with the few whale shark drops, and I was like, damn, there he goes.
I'm so happy that I have something that I do that I love so much, right? So diving's always been for me. You can talk my ear off about it. I won't leave you alone if you start that sort of conversation. I jump into sharks and scuba conversations with people I don't even know. So that's how I feel about it. And then really, the thing for me is you go diving, you have these crazy wild experiences. You're telling people about these sharks, but why don't you show them, right? So This is what we did. Here's some photos I took, and I think that makes a huge difference. Everybody's amazed, and they really appreciate the sharks, and then they want to come dive with us. So that's terrific.
It wasn't always that way, though. You were a commercial fisherman for quite some time, doing the exact opposite. So we'll get that out of the way bright and early. What changed you after what you saw out there? Not taking a jab at fishermen yet, but I'm sure I will eventually. But right now, just for someone who's been on the commercial side and then joined this side and started living the shark life, what changed you?
So I've always loved sharks. They've always been one of my favorite creatures. So to talk about the commercial fishing side of that, I grew up in coastal Massachusetts, so that was just the way of life. As much as growing up being XYZ sports fan, that's just how things were. You were on the water. You didn't necessarily live off of it, but fishing, that's what everybody did. Everybody talked about, and it was almost the default activity, hobby of what you would do on the weekends. So that's what you would plan out with your friends, whether it be freshwater or saltwater. And I wouldn't say that I didn't know any better, but that's just what you do. And if you grow up in generations where that's the way of life, you jump right into it. So I think the thing that really changed me is I love these animals so much. And don't get me wrong, it was at the beginning, it was so wild to be able to see them, right? So swordfish, 800-pound tuna, you're reeling in blue sharks, makos, thresher sharks off the coast of Massachusetts, Stellwagen Bank area, that sort of thing. And I was excited to be a part of it, because growing up in Mass, that was the only access I had to marine life, was really through fishing, because you didn't really dive out there. You do whale watches, that sort of thing. But one day my brain just kind of clicked as, every time I would throw sharks back as bycatch, and you just see them kind of floating at the surface, or you knew they weren't going to make it, or maybe watching one of the other guys on the boat cut the jaw of a mako shark out while it was still alive to pass on to a family member as a gift. You just kind of wake up one day and you say, you know what, this isn't right with the extent of the overfishing of sharks and the damage is bycatch, and how every shark is at less than 5% of its population from 1960 to now. It's I just thought that I can't do this anymore. I have to do something else to promote the conservation of these animals that I love to death, to the point where I grew up killing them. And, that's just, I thought that was okay to do. And now I don't agree with that anymore.
It's harder to change the older people's perception. Like, it's cool to see the kids. My son specifically, he dives with sharks now, but kids in general that are less afraid, and there's less fear and more fascination. Let's go with the cliche statement that everybody uses. There's definitely less fear and more fascination now than ever. I was fascinated with whales and dolphins. The dolphins gear that's behind me is representation of the mammal that I was infatuated with as a kid. I became a Dolphins fan because I liked the animal dolphins that just kind of float. And I grew up in New England, so I got bullied my whole life for being a Dolphins fan in Tom Brady country. But anyways, sharks to me, it was like here nor there. But when I found out about them being in peril and the numbers being in decline like they were as a scuba instructor, I started kind of turning my program in order to be able to educate about sharks and be able to talk to people and use the platform of teaching scuba to give these divers who were going to be in the water with sharks a chance to then share their experience. And here we are many years later, and look how we've aligned. Look where we'll be in a couple days and where we were a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. And I think for growing up in New England, and I know that you felt it as well, I don't know if it was kind of the Jaws era of that movie kind of alluding to taking place on Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard, that sort of thing, where the sharks weren't necessarily vilified in the Northeast, because there wasn't a lot of kind of shark accidents that happen up there, but they were very much respected and feared. But it was kind of a weird balance, right? Because you'd catch a lot of sharks, but it was almost like there was such a lack of knowledge about them that nobody felt the need to help them, right? So, perfect example. Let's say you're fishing with a long line. You've got 1,000 hooks out there. It's 3:00 in the morning. You're pulling in the long line, and you've got maybe out of 1,000 hooks, you've got maybe 40 money fish on there, being a tuna or a swordfish, whatever you were targeting. And then there's all kinds of mess of blue sharks and makos and all kinds of other stuff on the other hooks, right? As you're pulling those animals in, it's all about the money fish. The tuna comes on the deck. You need to unhook that and address it first, whereas you leave the blue sharks kind of flopping around in the back and more or less ignored. And I was kind of the one that was pushing them back in and doing all that I can. And I think the point that just kind of broke me down was seeing these animals and how magnificent they were, for lack of a better term. So the reason why I love the blue shark so much, and the reason why I was so excited at Cabo, is because that skin is like cobalt. It's a sapphire. It sparkles. It's, they say the bluest things on earth, right? So that really was why I love them so much. And a big 11-foot blue shark, it could be 40 years old, and it's been cruising around in more or less a desert of an ocean out there in the pelagic realm for all that time, just surviving and fighting and reproducing, that sort of thing, only for us people to think we're smarter and trick it and hook it, and it dies on the back of a smelly boat. And I just didn't think that was a very justifiable end for it.
It's crazy you mentioned 11-foot blue sharks, because I've only seen one that size. And we hear more and more that they're not seeing them that size. The ones we saw were max 5.5 feet long, maybe 6 if we're being generous. But an 11-foot blue shark is a thing of the past almost. I know up north they still see them in the Atlantic, but they're not talking about that at all in the Pacific.
No, absolutely not. That is without a doubt a direct product of overfishing, whether they're targeting the blue sharks or not, because now things get caught and killed before they can grow to that size, before they can even sexually mature for the most part. So, I think about that, my fishing days, that would have been uh, 10, 15 years ago now. And I bet the sharks now, if you were to go out and do the same thing, are smaller than what I was seeing back then. And that's how quickly we're diminishing that population. We'll call it the breed stock of sharks, the big, adult females that would be reproducing, once or twice a year.
And as part of a product of being so widely distributed, blue sharks are the most fished shark in the ocean. The other shark we were looking for, the mako shark, doesn't even reach sexual maturity till approximately 19 years old. So at that point, all of the ones we're seeing are not sexually mature. We saw one on this trip, and it was about 5 feet long. We've lost the balance already. If we're not seeing any sexually mature adults at all in an area that they consider a highly migratory area where they're supposed to have a high flow of traffic, it's hard to imagine that population even rebounding at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've unfortunately we've cut it down. I was about to say significantly, but we'll call it critically for now, because especially with the blue sharks, they kind of got the short end of the stick on both sides, right? So they're overfished. They're targeted because it's a globally spread or global habitat animal, so they live in all oceans except for the Arctic and subarctic. But pelagic animal, and they share their living space with the most highly targeted food fish that we have. So tuna, swordfish, another number of other things there. And then on the flip side of that, not in the United States and Mexico, but the fin trade around the world, the blue sharks have the largest fins of any shark, whether it be the pecs, the tail fins, and the dorsal. So that's why they're the most overfished, and it's really, really a shame.
Definitely. Moving on from the sad side of sharks, it's so easy to get caught up on it because that's the reality of it. But I got you ready. Species number 18.
There it is.
The white tip reef shark. It was actually Aaron who found it. We decided to explore this area that morning because the shark diving was slow, and basically that morning the wind was even less. And Jacob hit me up later, and he's like, by the way, we got nothing that morning. We went to the site that I went to the night before when the mako showed up at sunset. He's like, we got 3 blues and a mako there. But anyways, had we gone in the morning, I would have been correct about what the results would have been because that's what they were for them. So we went down to Chileno Beach, and it would have been on the west side of the reef because the reef runs straight north and south pretty much. So on that west side of the reef, which we hadn't done yet, I couldn't believe the hard coral that was just layered down to like 30 feet.
Yeah, you sent me the photos because unfortunately I couldn't make that morning trip because I was leaving that day, which now looking back was a real bad decision.
That's why I brought it up.
Give me a hard time. No, I totally get it. But you sent me the photos of the reef, and one, the visibility, and two, the coral, the coverage. I thought you were winding me up. I didn't think that, because we'd been there before, but we'd snorkeled off the beach and we went to the wrong spot. We were just some tourists showing up and we didn't know what we were doing. So please tell us more. That was wild. I never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I mean, all the same stuff you'd see at like Pelican Rock, the Moorish idols, the King Angels, the Clarion Angel, all that, different cleaner wrasse. I think it was a lunar wrasse I saw there. All that good stuff. But I was filming between the corals. There was map puffer. And then I heard Aaron say Ryan, and I should have known like when Brad found the horn shark in Mag Bay, but
that tone, the excitement, you can hear it.
I was like, what? And she's like, white tip. And I was out of there. And there was 2, and one of them was literally just laying, like if the rock was here, it was just laying out here. And I'm like, It's not what you
No
do.
way.
Take it. You made this easy on us. But we did that. We swam with them. They were super jittery. In and out of the reef. Chileno, it's actually a cave system, which I didn't realize. It's all interconnected. So if they take off under one series of rocks, you may never see them again. It's all interconnected, covered by hard coral. It's insane. So we tried tracking them. We kept them for like 20 minutes, and they ended up disappearing. They found their way through the reefs, underneath the reef system, and that was the end of it. So we tried a couple other spots. There's a lighthouse back to the... What did I look?
The West.
The West. The West. Yep, it was definitely the West. What the hell? I feel like a dumbass. The East. Because we normally go to the Northwest for the lighthouse when we're looking for all the whales. So it's the West, yes, the East. We went back there, and there's another lighthouse. And that's where we actually did that second dive. And it was like different canyons of coral, same type of SPS, hard coral structure, just layered on top of it. But some points came out of the water, which was really cool, like Pelican Rock. I was trying to get splits, but I failed. But yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. We did multiple drops there. And then we actually saw a mom and baby humpback. And the baby was so new that mom was still bleeding a little bit when she would actually breach. We were watching her teach her calf how to breach for what we thought was like literally the first time. And we got some video, and Miguel and I noticed that when mom would come out of the water down by her stomach, you could still see a little bit of red in the water. So she had just given birth to that calf very, very recently.
That's wild. Yeah, you probably were watching one of the first times that she was teaching it how to be a whale.
Yep.
So that's special, and that's really the type of Baja experiences that you get, and you can't get that anywhere else in the world.
Baja magic.
That's wonderful.
Apparently that night we had the Mako. Blue Marlin came rushing in, and I had the Mako up in my grill, so I couldn't look, but everybody was yelling Marlin, and I'm like, good for y'all. Like, I got a shark on watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm busy over here, yeah.
Give me a minute. But yeah, apparently, I mean, that's the kind of thing, like, totally unexpected to have something like that rush into a dive. But Blue Marlin apparently came through as the sun was dropping, and we were swimming with that last Mako. Baja is definitely magic.
I already can't wait to go back. I was sitting in the office today just wishing I was still there, unfortunately. So one day we'll get our place over there that we can go and visit as much as we like.
I'd be slipping in photo edits at work. Be like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Meanwhile,
I was trying my best.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely still in the Baja frame of mind. I've been talking about Mag Bay in November and getting back there, and I'm pretty sure we've already filled that one up, but that'll be cool. We get to go to a national park called Cabo Pulmo, and I've never done that. I don't think you have either.
No, I haven't. And Cabo Pulmo, for anyone that is involved in diving at all, I'm sure you've seen these photos of, it's not, there's spots where are not too deep, maybe 60 feet, and there is just a massive tornado of thousands of jacks. And you see a little diver down there taking a photo, and I want that to be us, because nothing... big, strong pelagic fish. Those that really revs my engine. So I'm really excited to get some photos like that.
Revs your engine?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come up with like some. Have a cue and just be like
a little air horn.
I feel like Aquaman, but not. My hair is not pretty enough. All right, we're gonna. We need some like transitions too.
A little segue.
Are you coming to Tiger Beach?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll be there.
Epic.
That's something I've been looking to do that for years. So to have multiple tiger sharks on you, I can't wait.
I personally think I shouldn't say this because I'm leading a trip there, but I personally think it's overrated. Like,
I get that
about Tiger Beach. Like, it's one of those things where if you haven't done it, you got to do it because it's cool seeing
Mm-hmm.
multiple tiger sharks at a time. We used to have that in Jupiter. We don't anymore. But the hammerheads at Bimini, joined by Joker the tiger, they're like, to me, I think that's a lot cooler to see is the hammerheads with the tiger mixed in. And you don't get the hammers as much at Tiger Beach. So since I've gone to Bimini, I definitely am biased towards Bimini. I have a preference there. But
There it is.
so if we have to do this, I have a bird. I have a bird who should be sleeping right now. That's you, Coco.
Coco, just a few more minutes. We're almost done, I promise.
When this podcast takes off, I'm having an office where the bird's not in it, and I can like get us like a space.
Have him on your shoulder.
Yeah. Or a bird that doesn't squawk at the worst times.
Yeah, and I won't be sitting on my couch in my apartment. We'll get some good digs here.
That's all right. Round one, we got Canon and Monster on for sponsorships right after this one.
Yep.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
So
also Born of Water.
Here we go. What was your God damn? Yeah. So we didn't plan this. Born of Water. I know you hooked us both up with T-shirts to begin with, but we're going to bill you for ad sponsorship time for the last 6 seconds. So we funny moments of the trip. I'll start since you started the last one. This mother trucker landed on a blue shark. Cannonballed a goddamn blue shark off the side of the boat like it was trying to eat one of our friends. He just sends it like, and I swear on everything I love, this blue shark goes down to the bottom of the ocean, and Josh wins the Cannonball of the Trip award.
In my defense, that is a very accurate description of what happened. So I'll give you that. The counter shading, the counter shading on the blue sharks is fantastic. Counter shading meaning the belly is white and the top of the shark is dark. In this case, it's blue. So whichever direction
really
you're looking,
your cannonball into a science lesson.
Listen, it absolutely right. So whichever direction that you're looking at the shark, it seems to disappear, right? You look up and you got a white belly against the white sky with the sun. You look down, the water is perfectly blue and the shark is perfectly blue, so you can't see it. So I did jump on it, but I didn't do a no-look jump. I looked, I didn't see anything. It was there, and then I hit the water. That may have been, in my life, the most excited, followed by the most upset I've been with the quickest turnaround between those two emotions, because I've been waiting for days to see these blue sharks. It was the only one at the time. I jumped in. I realized I scared it away and it just disappeared into the blue. And I thought that was it. I thought it wasn't coming back. And I was already thinking of my apology to everybody at dinner.
The tone in your voice was there. It was all right. So yeah, that was. Now I'll give it to you. What was my moment?
There's quite a few. The funniest moment, I think, it's just a constant stream of idiocy sometimes with us in the group, but was when we stopped on the way back from Mag Bay to Cabo. It was kind of a combined laugh and shock. So we stopped at that little market to get some lunch, and we were all on the bus and we were waiting for someone to come out of the bathroom. I was kind of just wandering around, and the shop was cool. It had fossils and homemade like knives and leather and different things. And there was like the workshop on the side, and I just kind of poked my head in the back to see what was up. And it was like this dark, dusty room with like one window. You could see the dust in like the sun rays, and it was a little, it had a little bit of a kind of a spooky vibe to it. There was all kinds of like half done projects in there. And then in the sunbeam from the window was this really neat, like ornate wooden box that had like mother of pearl inlay in it. It wasn't huge, it's probably about the size of like a small plate, but I am too curious, so I went back in there and I was like, might be something cool in this box. I'm gonna go take a look. There's a bunch of candles around it. I opened the box and it was full of human teeth.
Hold on, a drum roll. You gotta say it one more time.
It was full and full of human teeth. And when I'm saying full, like, how many teeth do you have in your head? 32, right? So you lose all. Is it 32 or there's a 16? I don't even know, but however many teeth you have in your head, this was not one person's teeth. It was like a quart container full of teeth, and they weren't small. They were like adult-sized teeth. And so obviously I panicked. I'd made a huge mistake. I was expecting the door to slam behind me, and I was about to get murdered and add my teeth to the box. I've been brushing them. They look all right for the prize money there, but my legs like got a little weak. Like I like got the willies, man, and I ran out of the bus, and the driver wasn't even in there. I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go right now. And they're like, Casey's still in the bathroom. I was like, I don't leave her. I don't care. We need to go. Because I never seen anything like that. Where did all those teeth come from? All the people in the store had all their teeth. I don't understand. Were those like wayward travelers?
I hope it wasn't travelers, or we might have got out of there right in the nick of time.
That scared me, man. Everyone was laughing, but I couldn't have been more serious. I wigged out.
I believe I filmed every bit of that, so that will make it onto the next series too. I have another moment in mind that I get. So, how about when I left Josh?
Yeah, and you know what? I am really, really disappointed that I missed it because I would give a lot to have been there for that moment.
Oh my God, you were in the trunk with us.
I know. I'd already left. I was in the other one.
Shit. Oh my God. So I'm sitting there in the back of the truck. I tried getting in the truck with you, and I don't know how anybody thought we were all fitting in the back of that truck. My camera barely fit behind Homeboy's seat.
Yeah.
That was the birthday.
Coco thought it was funny.
So apparently hold on. Sorry, Coco. That was the cue. I missed it. So we're sitting, and I was like, there's no way. So I ran back to the other truck, and I jumped in the truck bed. It's not the time for that, Coco. So I run back. I run back to the other truck, and I just jump in, and I'm like, all right, we're good. And we start to pull away, and I just hear Josh Oliver go, Ryan! And I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, I forgot him. Oh, no. But anyways, yeah, that was probably my moment. You had a couple in the water. Jacob said I scared him, yelling at him more than the blue shark that was crawling up his ass. And then I did defend you, but you claimed you had it all together. But from my angle, you were about to have a 5-foot blue shark nibble on your butt.
Yeah, I saw it. I knew where it was. I wouldn't say that I had the situation under control, but I really appreciate you stepping in because it was creeping up on me a little bit. I saw it like on the left side, and then I was like, okay, it's going to come around the back, and I was starting to turn, and I just didn't see it because it kind of like shifted over a little bit and then slowed down. So it was going to check me out for sure, and I picked the wrong direction to turn around, so that's when you intercepted that one.
I'm gonna have to get used to this. I feel the power.
Yes. Eventually, yeah.
Intercepted was a good word. Intercepted was a very good word for it. Well, I got those hands.
Yeah, look at those things.
Another cue I missed, apparently. So out of Tiger Beach, we got a couple cool trips at Shark Tours. So for those who don't know, I co-own a company. God, I'm cute. Check it out. I got business cards. Bam, there we go. I own a company called Shark Tours. And Josh isn't only my best friend, but he works with us on the weekends. He has a real job. I don't think it's as much fun as Shark Tours, but he does have a real job.
I wish I didn't. Yeah.
So, do I have to edit that part out, or your coworkers going to watch this?
They'll understand, I think.
So I'm back at it this week. Next week, got a special guest on the boat, but then after I get married in April, and you're my best man, we start our summer series of trips. We got Sharks at Dark, which is going to be super dope, super sketchy, but that's why I love it.
Love it.
We do exploratory trips. There's all sorts of cool sharks deep offshore. Scalloped hammerhead, which is the mold here behind me. Scalloped hammerhead. We got like 15 of them last year, which was freaking awesome. And there's so much cool shit. Oceanic white tips are seen by fishermen. White sharks are seen by fishermen. Why the hell can't we get them? We're gonna.
Yeah, especially with the new focus. The summertime is my favorite. The pelagic sharks, the silkies, the duskies, get the sandbars to show up, and with the renewed effort to kind of do the exploratory trips, maybe find some new spots to pick up some new species. I can't wait. Exploring is my favorite, and anything that happens out there. We tried it last year. We had you had a pretty consistent scalloped hammerhead encounter going, which is unbelievable. So there's a lot more out there in the ocean. I was, and that was special, man. That's not a shark you can really go out and target, and you were able to do that a handful of times, which is really, really cool.
I'll take it.
Take a bow.
I will take a bow. You gonna wear your light blue buff this summer?
You know what? Why don't I bring it back? I think
there's so we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there behind the scenes. Right?
Might as well, right? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
So, was it last summer or the year before?
No, the summer before. Yeah, it has. Yes.
Yeah. So two summers ago during silky season, I just got back on the boat, and we're doing what's called the Wrangle bait method, and basically the fish head is tied to a line or a rope. Proper term in boating is a line, so we'll go with a line. But there's no hook, so you tie the fish head to the line, you toss it out, and you barely let the shark get it. But Silky got it, nibbled on it. Sharks recycle teeth their entire life, and the shark dropped teeth. And I'm sitting there, and I'm literally narrating as Josh looks down, and I'm like, oh, he's going to go for those teeth. I'm like, he's going to get bit. Because I watched this silky turn. I'm like, it's all coming out of my mouth. Meanwhile, Josh's girlfriend at the time is almost shitting herself on the boat. She's like, what? What? And I'm like, oh, yeah, he doesn't see it. And then Josh turns up, and he sees her. He pushes the shark away. And I'm like, oh, okay, he did see her. And then the shark turns around and mouths his head. And I'm like, oh, shit, he got bit. But from where I'm at, I can't see how gentle, how hard, and sharks are smart. So she wasn't going to full-on bite, but just it's my company. I just watched his head get nibbled on. He comes up, and he's like, take these teeth. And I'm like, let me...
That was my main concern.
Serious right now? Like, take these teeth. Like, no, let me see your head. And yeah, these like little lines, but moral of the story, it's funny to talk about it now, but sharks are that smart, and it never happens to normal guests, because normal guests wouldn't be allowed to dive for teeth that are dropping in the middle of a bunch of sharks. But the moral of the story is that's how smart they are. Like, people don't give sharks enough credit for how calculated, how smart, how evasive they can be if they want to be. And you caught one of the inquisitive ones, and we got to watch and demonstrate word for word exactly what to anticipate from their behavior. And luckily, she didn't think your head was tasty.
Exactly. And you could tell she was thinking about the next move, right? Because after I redirected her, she swung back around on the side that I already wasn't facing. So I was in the process of turning around, but she was too quick, and she put her mouth around the top of my head. And just goes to show you still, they're not puppies. They are wild animals, and you do need to be respectful and careful, and don't make reckless decisions when you're in the water with them, because she didn't bite me, but feeling the jaws around my head, she could have crushed it like a watermelon. Like, just feeling the power, and I could feel like the electricity coming off of her ampulla. That not only was that a humbling moment, but I got out and I was just so impressed, because I never felt any sort of force. Yeah.
Like, you're hired.
Any force like that.
So
that's what happens. You get one of those, then you get to work there.
You could literally say your head's been in a shark's mouth.
Because it has. Yeah, definitely. I don't want it there again, but it's a good story now.
Oh man, good times. Yeah, I don't need to go there. I'm glad you have that one up on me. I'm going to let you keep it that way.
Yeah, I hope the situation doesn't come up where you get to be you get to take the new shark bites your head thrown. I'll sit up there, and I don't want anybody else to join me.
Oh man. Well, this has been a blast. What are we at? We've done look at us. Wow, we're already podcasters.
Right. That was quick. I like this. It was just have a conversation with your best buddy. It's not difficult.
Wait till we get some special guests on here who are also part of the Hang Dang Gang.
Shark fam, Hang Dang Gang. I love it. I think that's great.
We just have to make sure that all of our guests know that as soon as I go like this, they've got 2 seconds to go. And as long as we can all be on the same page, then that's all that matters.
I like it.
That's it.
I like it. I'm into it.
We'll get some special guests on here. We need Josh Schellenberg. He's like the midget amigo.
Chilly in here.
Of the three amigos. Can't say midget, it's little people, right?
It's like, little person. It's like 2.5 shark divers is what we are.
Hold on, where's the button?
A little less Charlie Sheen, but what are you going to do?
I can't wait till you see that. And then following that's going to be the YouTube series, 2.5 Shark Divers.
Well, we're gonna say that, and he's of course going to come back with, well, I'm a better photographer than both of you guys, and we're just going to have to kind of give it to him,
That's all right. The first episode will be At Least I Can Spell. So with that segment, Josh has to be our first guest, because we're going to have to air these clips, and he's going to have to respond, and then we're going to have to bring him on, to be fair. Yeah, but that means I have to do some work and realize how to get 3 people into this freaking thing.
I think we could. There's got to be a way to converse that. We'll figure it out.
Oh man, we'll get some other special guests on. I got this guy right here. He's gonna come on. I got his jersey right there. Plays for the Dolphins. We got to get him on. He's been shark diving with me. Another groomsman, Mr. Walt Aikens. I know we're gonna drag his ass on here. We can rehash our my, what do you call it? It's not a bachelor party. Jesus,
bachelor party. That's I wasn't sure what you were getting at there.
Jesus, I said we can rehash bachelor weekend. There we go. Walt, I had to save his life. Practice my rescue skills. My brother.
I had to watch you save his life.
I'm fresh for an old man. I still got my skills,
dude. You didn't miss a beat at all. You were right on it, and the situation was under control. I just had to sit there.
Two for one.
Yeah.
Jimmy was trying to die.
A flawless record. He was trying to die.
We saved them all. All right, so there you go. I guess if that's not the perfect way to end, we are happy if you tuned in. If you didn't, then I don't really give a shit about you if you didn't tune in. But other than that, we're excited for everybody who does tune in. And I can't wait to bring other special guests on and laugh at them and have fun and rehash these memories. Hope you had fun too, Josh.
This is great. I'm looking forward to doing this over and over again, and hope everybody appreciated the laughs, because there's more where that came from.
Hell yeah. Hopefully monster season so we can get a studio and my bird can't laugh at us the whole freaking time.
Yeah, that sounds great. We'll be crawling across the walls, all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Actually, it would be monster if they paid for it.
Close enough.
Does it Mountain Dew reduce your sperm count too?
I don't know.
Is it a myth or is it real?
It's not good for you. I know that for sure. The sperm count thing, I'll have to look at that because I haven't drank a lot of Mountain Dew, so I wouldn't really notice a difference if that makes sense.
So if there's no like serious Google results, are you willing to like do a science experiment for this and tell us how it goes with the Mountain Dew over an extended period of time?
No, I'm not up for that at all. But I'm sure. I think I got a guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah. I think I got somebody.
On that note, we are out of here.
Shark people. See you on the next one.